today's video I'm going to show you guys how to remove a rotor. It's seized on. I know this one's probably seized on because the other side I just did it and it was seized on. Safety first, get your jack up, get a candle under, that's critical. The tools we're going to be using are straightforward, a 17mm, a 12mm. I got a chain and a hook to tie up my caliper, and there's the magic tools we're going to use to get that rotor off without any banging, oil, or heat. Hopefully this should all work out. Here we go. It's a 2018 Elantra. First thing you're going to do is you're going to turn the wheel all the way to the right so we can access the bolts here and two more there to facilitate getting the caliper off. First thing we're going to do is we're going to compress the caliper a bit so it's not bonding on the brakes. You can just do that with a simple clamp. Position your clamp in the back of the caliper and on this side of the brake pad, and just give it a little bit of compression. I opened it up about 1/8 of an inch. Probably can't see that, but that's more than enough to facilitate getting that off. Alright, that's a 14mm wrench socket, and we're going to take off this part here first. Oops, that's the wrong direction. Those shouldn't be too terribly tight. They're not tight at all, in fact. Scoot those out. And immediately the caliper fell, or the caliper basket fell. No, caliper in itself, that's right. I'm going to hook this chain up through the spring up top, remove my caliper, loop it through the space here, bring that up, and lock it into place. Now I'm going to remove these two bolts, and for that I'm going to need a larger socket. It's a 17mm, and I got a big bar on it so I can really get the leverage I need to loosen those things up. There, that's nice and loose, that one. And that one too, she's nice and loose now. Step out. That's good enough. Alright, I'm going to finish that up with the ratchet. There we go. Got the caliper holder off, and as you can see the brake pads and everything came right with it. Inside brake pad, by the way, is almost right down to the metal, just about. So these things were long overdue to be changed. I'm going to set that aside for now. They're two bolts. Incidentally, those two holes that we just opened up by removing the basket is going to be where we're going to use those bolts to facilitate getting this thing off. Next thing we're going to do is to remove these two nuts, or two screws in the front, the retaining screws that are holding on the rudder to the hub, and we're going to simply use a ratchet. Again, these don't have too much force on them. There we go. Now, theoretically, there's nothing holding that thing on as far as mechanics are concerned, but as you can see, it's on there very, very tight. It ain't going to move, and I'm not even going to try it. It was the same thing on the other side. Here's the trick. I'm going to use 2 bolts, washer and nut. Bolt's going to go through the hole with the thread coming through the other side. We're going to put this nut on that side and using a open end wrench to hold it into place so it doesn't slide out on me. It's a lot easier doing that than it is to get your fingers in there. Twist that bolt and the nut on until it's nice and snug. And on the bottom, same thing, rinse and repeat. Let's go. And there we go, we got those things nice and snug. Okay, so here's the theory. By applying pressure to the back of the router, we should break the seal that's holding it onto the hub, and you'll hear a snap. You'll know when it's loose. And once that's done, we'll loosen these, slack these off, turn it over again, and again work the other side maybe 2 or 3 times until we get it off. In order to prevent these bolts from slipping, I'm using, in my case here, I'm using a 15mm on this side, and this is the 18mm for the nut. So holding that bolt, this bolt steady, use this wrench and turn clockwise. There you go, broke the seal. Easy peasy. Slacken that bolt up, take the bolt out just a bit so we can facilitate turning this router about 180 degrees, rotor I should say. Like that. And rinse and repeat. Again, lock that bolt. You don't want that to move. You do want this one to move on this side though. And apply a bit of force to that there. I can see it moving already. It won't snap again. You won't hear that pop sound again because we broke the seal. There we go. I'll work it off until it moves about a 1/4 inch out. Both sides. There. Your router's gone. Rotor's off. And that was, my friends, with no banging, no heat. That's the way you do it. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button below. I'm gonna I'll be bringing a lot more of these little tricks to the YouTube. Hope to save you a little bit of time, a bit of money, some sweat off the brow, and make your life a little bit easier. Cheers.